Hello, badminton players and fans all around the world. It's Henry and Jeff from Volant and the Badminton Podcast, here to bring you episode 4 of the Tokyo 2020 show. Now, on this show, we're going to give you the latest news, updates, results, opinions, predictions, polls, and so much more. Now, some of you might be wondering why the BWF isn't live streaming the badminton coverage at the Olympics. So the reason why is because the International Olympic Committee, or the IOC, own the usage rights and they can't be sold to any international federation. So unfortunately, they can't live stream it. But for those of you dying to watch the Olympic coverage, then make sure you check out the screen right now. You'll see the Match Center URL, you'll see the blog URL, as well as the URL for where you can find out how to catch those matches live in your country. So Jeff, it's been 2.5 days of crazy, exciting competition. There's so much to talk about, but where do we start?
Yeah, it's been great. I haven't watched this much badminton for so long, and we've had multiple screens happening and watching different matches all throughout the day, and it's been amazing. I'd probably say day 2, the biggest upset would have been in the ladies doubles. So we had the Danish women's double pair, Maiken Furgaard and Sarah Thygesen.
Yeah.
They beat Lee and Shin, the Korean 4th seed women's doubles pair. And that was a bit of a surprising one, 22-20 in the third. And now that puts the pressure right back on the Koreans, because now they have to go and play the Chinese pair of Du Yue and Li Yinhui. Yeah. To actually make it through to the knockout rounds. And number 4 seeds, it's crazy that they might not even make it out.
It's full on, right? I think that women's doubles category is looking very shaky. We had both the Japanese pairs basically treading on thin ice yesterday. We had Matsumoto and Nagahara almost losing to the Canadian pair of Rachel Honderick and Kristen Tsai.
They played really well, the Canadians.
Probably the best game they've ever played.
I think so, yeah.
Kristen at the front court, really hard and fast coming in. And then we had, of course, Hirota and Fukushima. You can see Hirota really being exposed for that injury that she has been sporting there, really taking on as much of the front court as she possibly can. Yeah. But yeah, I think the Malaysian pair did pretty well in exposing that. Which is why it did go to that tight 3-set as well. Yeah.
But now that it's exposed and everyone's seen it, then it'll be interesting to see what the other doubles pairs do now. Yeah. And I think that Fukushima did a great job. She was covering all the rear court shots basically. Yeah. And yeah, hopefully they'll still be able to pull through, because I do really like them as a pair as well.
Yeah, but it is concerning for those first seeds. So if they do meet the likes of a Chen Jia Yifan, I'm very concerned for them.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll expose that even further, I think.
Yeah.
Last night we did see a lot of people's favourite men's singles players take the court. So we had Chen Long, we had Lizzie Jia, Anders Andersen and Kento Momota. They all got through quite comfortably. But Group D, isn't it?
This morning.
Group D.
We did call it out as a do not miss match yesterday, guys.
So Misha Zilberman has lost to Mark Kalja from the Netherlands, which opens that group up completely. So any of those could go through, but of course pending the match between Mark and Sai Praneeth. Yep. Mark might go through if he pulls that out. If not, it's going to go to percentages to see who actually is going to get out. So
yeah, that's a tricky one. There. So make sure you tune into that when that does happen as well. Okay, and now we also had the mixed doubles match this morning, which was a very tight 3-setter between Tang Chun Man, Ziying Sweat, and Mark Lansford and Isabel Hertrick, and that went to a 3 sets as well, and that was their do or die match. So unfortunately, that means the Germans will have to go home. Yeah,
that was a tough match, and yeah, I'm sure the Hong Kong pair's thrilled with that.
Yeah, but what do you expect from the Olympics, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. The Olympics means so much to all the players. You can tell every single win, it's not taken for granted, right? And we've definitely seen some really hard fought matches and some really fierce competition. And we do see some of the celebrations and the joy that's exposed when they do win a really hard match. So for example, we've seen some pretty awesome ones so far at the games. We've seen in the men's singles, we saw Cole Jonen
versus Luca Raba, right?
Austria. Yeah. And so there's a pretty good celebration there.
He gave the old point to
the coach.
Probably the coach. There's no spectators, right? Yeah. So there's that one. And then we had Kim Astrup and Anders Rasmussen when they celebrated their victory against Ivanov and Sozonov of the Russian Olympic Committee team. And that was pretty epic, pretty funny. Yeah. You could see. I think it was Astrup sort of facing the opposite.
With his shirt off over his head.
And Rasmussen's like, where'd my partner go? I want to celebrate with him. Yeah, exactly. But
yeah, hopefully there's heaps more of those celebrations to come. We've seen some pretty epic ones in the past at other tournaments. So why don't we go have a look at these epic celebrations that we've seen? So for episode 4 of the Tokyo 2020 show, we are speaking to Greg Mares and Jenny Moore. They are English mixed doubles players. They've been as high as 37 in the world rankings.
38 in the world
rankings. Okay, thanks, Henry. And they're also the founders of Badminton Insight, which is a platform where they get to share their knowledge of badminton and try to grow the sport around the world.
Welcome onto the show, Greg and Jenny.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Great to see you both again. And how have you enjoyed the Olympics so far?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I think Olympics is the big event that we both absolutely love watching. We've tried to stay up as much as possible so far over the last few days to catch as many matches as we can. And it's been great. Bit of a shame there's no crowd there, but I think we've been enjoying it all the same.
Yeah, we're trying to change our time zone to Japanese time zone so we can see as much as possible.
Yeah, it's on during the night view, isn't it? So what are the matches that you have been able to see?
Oh, we've watched a lot. It's currently 6 a.m. here, but we've been up a few hours already. We've watched Kevin and Marcus, the Minions this morning against Rangi, Reddy and Shetty. Quite a dominant display. Yeah, you've got the Minions.
And meals yesterday.
Yeah, we've watched a lot of the mixed games as well. Obviously, that's kind of heating up and quickly. So yeah, we've been watching that. The singles hasn't really got going yet. I guess it's inevitable with the bigger draw. There's quite a lot of one-sided games, but still lots of interesting games nevertheless. So yeah, lots of the doubles and Marcus and Kevin before. What else we watched?
We watched Siwi against the Koreans. That was a good game as well.
They're looking good as well. They are.
I guess from Great Britain's point of view, like Marcus and Lauren are doing Great Britain really proud, coming through, beating the third seeds in Sapsiree and Dechapol. With the matches you've seen so far of, say, mixed doubles, because you two are specialists in mixed doubles generally, what have you seen as really key points or really key things to focus on tactically for someone to come through in the Olympics?
Yeah, I think we've been seeing a lot of good attack in the hall so far. I think that's been a big standout. I think of the matches we've watched, from what we've seen, is whoever's getting the attack first is often kind of winning those points. So I think that seems to be quite a key thing in this specific hall that they're playing in at the moment. But I think it looks like everyone's just enjoying being back out there, to be honest. I think it's really great to see all of the top players back in one event and seeing everyone competing with each other. Obviously, Olympics is a bit different to normal tournaments where you don't get number 1 and number 7 in the world playing against each other in a group stage. It doesn't happen in normal tournaments. So it's really good to see such good, high quality games so early on in the tournament.
Yeah, it's definitely been a very unusual Olympics, but it seems like there's still definitely that atmosphere, the Olympic atmosphere there, albeit a little bit different. Now, I guess as mixed doubles pairs and seeing all these exciting matches, the actual knockout draw for the mixed doubles pair, mixed doubles comes out tonight, 9 p.m. Local time or Tokyo time. If you could choose 2 mixed doubles pairs, any of them in the Olympics match to go against each other, which 2 pairs would you pick to watch?
I mean, we would choose on paper one of the weaker pairs to play Marcus and Lauren. That would be ideal. So they've got the best chance possible. And obviously top in their group, they'll play a second pair now. So that's really good. if you could choose two just to watch from pure entertainment purpose, I would think Yuta Watanabe and Higashino against Zheng Ziwei and Wang Yaqiong. I think I'd like to see that in a final.
Yeah, that could easily be a final for sure.
Both pairs, just in this morning session, Watanabe and Higashino were so dominant against Praveen Jordan and Octaviante, and Zheng Ziwei, we've just watched that against Seo and Che. Very, very good as well. So I think it would be those two pairs. That would be a great matchup.
Yeah. So if we break down those two pairs a little bit further, and you talk about Zheng Ziwei, Huang Yaqiong, and of course Zheng Ziwei is so fast. Huang Yaqiong so good at the front court, can create opportunities. Like, what do you see as their major strengths in their combination? And then after that, we might move to Higashino and Watanabe, because it'd be interesting to see what your thoughts are as to what their best attributes are.
I would say for Zheng Ziwei, his biggest asset, as you said, is obviously his speed and his relentless attack. Like, he will just keep going and keep going. And then you have kind of the solidity of Huang Yaqiong, who's just, she never really seems to miss. It's actually unbelievable watching her sometimes. You think she's so far stretched out to the side and she's still putting them under so much pressure. Yeah. So I think that's what makes them number one in the world, is those just, kind of combination of assets.
Just an all-round great mixed pair. Defense, attack, serve, return, they got it all.
Yeah, speaking of Huang Yaqiong, I'm just thinking about Badminton Inside, right? I think thinking about her, just perfect block every time would be the best badminton YouTube video, your next badminton YouTube video, because it would just be like, how do you block like Huang Yaqiong? Because every time I see her, someone lays down a massive bomb smash at her and she's just like, yeah, perfect block. They're over there.
Yeah, so tight over the net as well.
Yeah, exactly. So now we move on to Arisa Higashino and Yuta Watanabe. What about them? What do you think their strengths and weaknesses are? Because I think earlier today we saw Higashino sort of switch back on, because I think her first couple of games she was a little bit shaky. But then, this morning when they were playing against Praveen and Malati, she's really switched on, really dominant in that front court and just getting that offensive play back up.
Yeah, I think you've seen a lot of players come out a little bit nervy. It's a massive event, so it's understandable. But I think that their strengths, I mean, she's probably the best attacker in any woman ever to have lived in.
That's another video, her jump smash.
Yeah. So her strengths are attack, but also, as you say, she's kind of come on, and I think again around the net, that would be a bit of a battle who could be better, basically, between those two women, both phenomenal players. And Yuta's he's not got the biggest smash, but I tell you what,
deception.
His stop drop, and he's got a big smash, and he gets up, and he's just so quick and skillful, which is why it's great to watch him play.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously it sounds like they're your two top pairs, or maybe your favorite pairs. Do you have any other honorable mentions, like Sapsiree Dechapol, or the second Chinese pair in
Wang Dongping and Wang Yuyu?
Yeah.
They're looking solid as well, aren't they?
Yeah. We've kind of not really spoke about them because they're just doing what they should be doing at the moment. There's not really been any drama in that group. But I think one to watch for us got to be Marcus and Lauren. They're obviously playing very well at the moment. So I think we're looking forward to seeing hopefully how far they can progress in the tournament. And obviously it's amazing they've come top of their group. So fingers crossed they'll have a nice next game in the quarterfinal and push on to the semi. It'll be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, semi-final will be great. And Marcus has obviously almost been there, done it at Rio with a bronze medal in the men's doubles. So, and Lauren's also had an experience of the Olympics under a belt. So hopefully they'll just go for it. And we're fully behind them. Yeah,
I guess having not had so many tournaments this year and a half or so, having that Olympic experience is very important coming into the Tokyo 2020. So in terms of Lauren and Marcus, you definitely it sounds like you're both rooting for them. So do you have a message for them, if you could give them a message?
Good luck. No, I think as with every game when you're at the Olympics, you really do just have to go out there and enjoy it. I think don't just think about the stage you're at. Obviously, an Olympic quarterfinal is a massive achievement already in itself. But I think you just have to go out there and enjoy it, play the game as if it was your first game, and just have fun, challenge the pairs you're up against and see where you can get to.
Yeah, I think Marcus will know. He's, as I said, he's played his best badminton at the Olympics before. So yeah, go out there, just give it to them. They've put all these years of work in, and it's kind of the time to show what you got.
Yeah. And we've obviously got our other hopes still. So we've obviously got like Toby and Kirsty who've not played yet. So we'll be rooting for those as well. Lauren and Chloe still got another game in a few hours, so we'll be ready for that.
Yeah.
And Ben and Sean have got, I think, one more group match. So we're looking forward to still watching all of the Team GB, hopefully winning some more matches.
Excellent. Okay, we were just going to wrap that up there, guys. Thanks so much for coming on to this episode.
No worries. Enjoyed it.
Thank you for having us.
Enjoy the rest of the games, guys. So in terms of tonight's session, let's talk some do not miss matches, shall we, Jeff?
Mm-hmm.
Tonight's session, we have the Daddies versus the Malaysian pair of Aaron Cheer and So Woo Yik. That's going to be a good one.
It is going to be a good one.
We're calling that one out as our do not miss match, but we have some differing opinions there.
Yeah, look, I think that the more safe choice will be to go with the Daddies. Like, what's the track record?
6-1. 6-1 to the Daddies.
6-1 or 3-1?
6-1.
Okay.
6-1.
6-1.
Yep.
For some reason, I think that maybe with the Olympic Games happening, I think that Chia and So are playing quite well. They definitely did play well in that test match against the Koreans, Seo and Choi. But I feel that it does kind of revolve around how well So Woo Yik plays. Yeah. Because I think he's a bit more erratic. Like Aaron Chia's, you can count on him to be quite solid, stable. Like he's really good at what he does, but So is usually one quick to the net and creating those opportunities. So I think it's going to depend on how quickly he can play and how well he can play. And I think the dynamic of the match is going to revolve around how quick they can make it. Because with the Daddies, we kind of know what kind of game they're going to bring. A high quality game, but maybe if the Malaysians are faster and quicker and they can still play with good shot quality, then maybe that could put the Daddies, the Indonesians, on the back foot.
Yeah, look, well, what I liked about the Malaysian doubles pair when they did play Choi and So the other day is that they were very proactive. They were hunting the shuttle, and that's the kind of play that they're going to need to bring to take on the Daddies. The Daddies, they have so much experience between the two of them. It's going to be very hard for the Malaysians to compete with them. That's why I think for me, it's the safer choice and the better choice, sorry, Jeff, because I think Setiawan's going to be able to expose So Woo Yik's, I guess, sometimes when he's put under pressure, he does his shot quality or shot choice is definitely not as good as it could be, and I think that will expose the Malaysian doubles pair, and that's probably what's happened in the past as well. So I feel like it's definitely going to be a good match. But I'm going to go the safer choice in the Daddies.
Okay, 6-1. 1-6 odds against me so far, so hopefully it'll be 2-6 after this. But I'm going with the Malaysians.
Okay,
we'll see what happens.
All right.
So that is tonight.
Yes, that's
and
tonight's
then
session.
Tomorrow morning we also have some really good matches, but we're going to point out another men's doubles match. We've got the Twin Towers from China, Lee and Liu, versus Sonoda and Kimura from Japan. Yeah. Now 7-1 head to head. So yes, heavily in favor of the Chinese, but I think it's a really good one to test the Twin Towers as well. And I think that Kimura and Sonoda are playing quite well.
Yeah, I agree. I think the matches that we've seen so far in the Olympics of Kimura and Sonoda, we talked about this earlier. They're basically the same player with a different face. In
terms of style, right?
Yeah, in terms of how they play, they're just so fast. They're like joint at the hip on the court as well. They just know where each other are moving, but they bring a very standard game every single time. So will they bring the same game to the Twin Towers, and will it be enough? And again, it's one of those things, like we talked about So Woo Yik just briefly being sort of the erratic player. We have Lee Junhui also along that sort of line. So it'll be heavily dependent on how that is.
Yeah, I do think the Twin Towers will still get through though.
Yeah.
with Kimura and Snoda, they always come with this intensity, this intent, right? I don't think anyone is more intense all the time, every single point as they are.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's quite enough. I don't see how they're going to put the shuttle on the ground in their attack against the two Chinese.
Yeah, the defense from the Chinese will be too strong, and there's just not quite enough firepower from the Japanese.
Yep.
So that'll be a very interesting one, guys. So make sure you tune into that one. And finally, we have Kim So-young and Kong Hee-young versus the Chen Qingchen and Jia Yifan of China. That is going to be a very interesting one. I'm really looking forward to that one. Their head-to-head's a lot tighter compared to the other matches that we called out as do not miss matches. So Chen Qingchen are actually it's actually 5-3. So the last match that they actually played, it was actually a 3-set match in the Thailand 2020 Masters. I think that if Kim and Kong can be a bit more provide a lot more variation in what they do, because at the moment it's just Kong power, and then Kim every now and then would change it. They need to change that speed and the shot choices a lot more dynamically when you're competing against the Chen Qingchen and Jia Yifans of the world, because they are going to be so dominant of what we've seen of them so far. Scarily good. But to be honest, in my opinion, they are probably the two best women's doubles players the women's doubles pairs that I've seen at the Olympics this year.
That's a big call.
It's a big call.
But yeah, the Japanese pairs, like we said before, are tending to struggle a little bit as well. And I think Chen Qingchen is going to be the big factor. If she can play that dominance at the front court like she usually does, reading those shots. We said she's kind of like Kevin Sanjaya in women's doubles. So she's probably not like trick shot wise, she doesn't have that, but in terms of vision and ability, readiness and being able to cut off those shots, I think she's really, really good. So
and so well supported with Yifan as well.
Yeah, with the big smash and the consistency as well. So that's going to be a big one. I'm still going to go with the Chinese pair, Chen Qingchen, Jia Yifan, with the victory there, but I think it's definitely a do not miss match in women's doubles.
No, I definitely agree as well.
So now we're going to move on to the poll. So in terms of the poll, the question that we asked yesterday, so we asked everyone, which event do we think will have the longest rally at the Olympic Games? And
drum roll again. Do a little bit of a drum roll.
Not surprising that 43%, so a lot of people think it is the women's doubles event. It is what Henry and I thought, and I'd probably say we'd be about right with that. We've seen some epic rallies. We saw the Japanese and the Malaysians last night.
Yeah,
and those
almost like training drills.
Yeah, literally training drills. Those rallies were huge. So
I think the ones that we saw were like 80 odd or 70 odd?
70 odd shots, just heaps.
Yeah, too many. But so yeah, if you got women's doubles, that's probably a good pick, but we'll find out, won't we? So in terms of the next question for you guys, so make sure that you comment below, live chat, whatever it is, let us know your thoughts. The question is, who has the best singles technique in women's singles? So you've got 4 choices. You've got Tai Su-ying, you've got Ratchanok Intanon, you've got Chen Yufei, and you've got Nozomi Okuhara. So let us know who you think has the best women's singles technique in the comments below, guys.
4 choices, I'm going to go Tai Su-ying.
That's fair. I'm going to go Intanon.
Ratchanok Intanon, I do like her. Very, very good technique as well. Let's see what everyone thinks.
Yeah.
So in terms of who we want to pay our respects to for today in our Raise a Racket. So we had a bit of a discussion about this before this video, and we have decided that we will raise our rackets to
Sayaka Hirota and Yuki Fukushima. They had a really tough match last night. They grinded their way through, and you can see just how much they want it.
Yes, how much they want to win, despite losing the first set, being close in the second, and
having essentially a handicap. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, just
a handicap.
And being able to pull through mental toughness and, I don't know, just that willpower to win and just to find a way even when there wasn't much of a way, especially if you watch the first and second sets. You're like, I was genuinely worried and scared, but they managed to pull through. So we raise a racket to them. Well done, all the best moving forwards. We know that you do have some expectations on you with the seedings being number 1 seeds.
Yes.
So just keep in there and
wish you all the best.
Respect.
Yep. Cool, so we're wrapping up episode 4 now. On the screen, we're going to pop the order of play, which is going to start tonight at 6 p.m. local time, Tokyo time, and then 10 a.m. in the morning as well, Tokyo local time. And in terms of talking about where to watch the coverage live again, on screen, you'll also see 3 URLs, one to the Match Center, one to the live blog, and one to where you can find your broadcast coverage in your country as well.
So thanks so much for tuning into this episode of the Tokyo 2020 show. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you, everyone.